What's up, crypto fam? It's Phantom taking another look at the market. Bitcoin's moved incredibly sideways for most of this week. We are sitting at 38,667 at the time of this stream. We are in ultra boring mode. We've been sideways for a long time. I do have one news article that kind of points to what I've been describing on why this sideways movement is almost more painful than the sharp decline, but is also very bullish for the market overall. So we'll get into that. The fear and greed index is aligning with that thought process. We are at extreme fear. We're at 20, which is one of the lowest numbers we've seen in weeks. And generally, if you go back and research our low points before all of our bull runs, we are at, this extreme territory, generally in the 2021 area. So I think we're preparing for a big move, and I'm hoping it's going to be to the upside. The chart is telling me it's to the upside since we have been bouncing right off this trend line historically since the end of 2020. We haven't closed below it yet, fingers crossed. We have a hidden bullish divergence with the price going up and the RSI going down. This is one of the strongest indicators of a bull market. We also, if you subscribe to the Elliott wave theory, a lot of people are saying that sideways corrective waves to the downside are one of the strongest in lead up to the strongest wave 5 rallies to the top that we see, but that may mean that we're in for a very long correction after this wave. So we'll get into that and more. But as far as Bitcoin's concerned, Bitcoin, there's nothing more to report than I believe that it's still bullish as it looks. I'll point out again, as I have in previous streams, that it's my belief that whenever we've seen these types of red candles printed, we generally make a move to the upside. There's one instance where this has failed. So 1 out of 5. And that's when we continue to move to the downside. But that was after a long and exhaustive breakout. So I'm thinking that we are going to be pushing to the upside. I thought it would be last week. I thought it would be this week. It's something is coming soon, and it's going to be a big move. There's no way we continue to move sideways like this forever. We're going to have some type of catalyst that moves us in one direction or another, and it's going to be a strong move. The longer you move sideways, the more powerful the move that we get from it. So the news articles that I found interesting today is Goldman Sachs is in the news. They're bringing Bitcoin-backed loans to traditional finance, which really shouldn't come as a surprise. There's a lot of crypto markets that are many in the crypto space that are offering these type of Bitcoin-backed loans. Funding financial institution Goldman Sachs has introduced the introduction of Bitcoin-backed loans. And what's a primary for significant U.S. financial institutions, Goldman Sachs has expanded its crypto choices to incorporate these Bitcoin-backed loans. It's the first secured lending facility of its sort, which is able to lend out money that's collateralized by Bitcoin. So this is a good first move, because this is the first prestigious, banking type company that's backing loans with Bitcoin, which is much better than what we back loans with now, which is hopes and dreams for the most part. Unless you are very well off or have a ton of collateral, banks seem to be just giving out loans for the sake of it, which probably means we're into for some financial crisis in the future. But I think the Fed is planning to kick that can down the road as long as they can. This is the article I was speaking of. If you don't know about Elliott wave theory, this will give you some background on it. Markets might seem like an unpredictable roller coaster at times, but on several time scales, they can be quite predictable. In the 1930s, Ralph Nelson Elliott developed what he referred to as the wave principle. According to Wikipedia, Elliott stated that while stock markets the price may appear random and unpredictable, they actually follow predictable natural laws that can be measured and forecasted using Fibonacci numbers. So what he had found is that there's obviously a motion to trading in the markets, and that this can be predicted using waves. And this Elliott wave theory, if done correctly, a lot of people are either hyper for it or hyper against it because you can draw the waves in multiple different ways. I think it's pretty accurate because I subscribe that the market is, largely based on emotion and follows, cycles. So I subscribe to the Elliott wave theory. I like it because it will give you invalidations to let you know if you're counting correctly or not counting correctly. But it does go on to say, in addition to waves alternating between positive and negative growth, they also alternate in the degree of severity. And according to the guidelines of the alternation, one correction is typically sharp, while the other is flat or sideways. When this exact example is projected over the Bitcoin price action, the path ahead looks a lot more clear. And this is the showing of the sharp correction style, the flat correction style. So what's next for Bitcoin when the flat correction style ends? The length of each correction is also different. According to the wave theory, sharp corrections tend to be over a lot faster than a flat style correction, which painfully glides sideways, which is what we've been seeing. The market itself still has a sort of post-traumatic bear market syndrome from the severity of a sharp style correction, that it expects the market to behave in the same manner yet again. So they're expecting, after this long flat style correction, that we will have our strongest impulse wave 5 to the high side. The little dog here agrees. She is ready to go outside soon, so we will end this quickly. But yeah, this is bullish news. This is, if you lay it over the Bitcoin graph, the Bitcoin graph right over the Elliott wave guideline, and it's almost spot on. So yeah, this is very exciting to see. I thought it was a really cool article. If there's any interest in it, definitely just leave a comment or something like that, and I'm happy to link it. The last piece of news that I have is Kobe, our savior, from Up Only. If you don't watch Up Only, I strongly suggest it. I love it. While the exchange has faced fierce criticism from the crypto community over its asset listing criteria, this is Coinbase. Armstrong doubled down on its approach in his post. At Coinbase, our goal is to list every asset that is legal and safe to do so, he said, claiming that the exchange has no business in picking winners and losers. Early this month, Coinbase came in a heavy fire after Up-Only host and influential crypto trader Kobe publicly called the company out for listing relatively unknown dubious projects with a low market cap, such as Student Coin, Pokemon, and Big Data Protocol. Notably, Coinbase has neglected to list many other assets that play a crucial role in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, such as Terra and Phantom and HBAR. I don't know why HBAR is not on here. But basically, Colby called them out that they make these listings, but they invest in the tokens beforehand, and they're getting dumped just about right after the listing on Coinbase. So he called them out publicly on it, and they said that they're going to try to close those loopholes. So it's really good that he fights for the little people in the market. He has obviously a lot of influence in the space, and he tends to use it for good. I applaud the man. I think he's good for the space. And Up Only is amazing. I love it. I really enjoy the content. So yeah, I think I'm hoping that we close above this trend line on the weekly. We still have almost just under 2 days left before that happens. I am very tired of this sideways movement. I thought we'd start to see some more exciting price action last week or this week. I have not been right on that, admittedly, but I'm. It's got to be right around the corner. This sideways. We've been going sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, almost 3 months. So just about all of 2022. Is that right? Yeah, since we've been in 2022, we've basically been sideways. So we're ready for something. I think the market is drained and in pain, and the fear and greed index is as low as I've seen it in weeks. So everything looks primed for us to make our move to the upside, and I'm hoping we see it before long. So with that said, I hope you have a great rest of your Friday. I hope you have an even better Saturday, and I'll catch you in the next video. Until then, peace.